know you've gone through a few opening nights before. Do you still get jitters, butterflies, excitement to get into that actual first game?
Yeah, for sure. We put in a lot of work in the summers, and summers are long, so it's a lot of time away from the rink. So it's nice to be back, and everyone gets a little excited, a little jittery, and but mainly excited just to be back playing some meaningful hockey.
This is your first game here at the Kings. You took the optional skate just to kind of get a feel. Do you like to skate in the morning on game days, or do you just kind of take it game by game, how you're feeling?
Towards the end of the year, I'll take more options for sure, but early on in the season, still pretty fresh, so I like to go out there and feel the puck a little bit.
When we talked at the beginning of camp, you talked a lot about kind of learning the system, structure, style of this team. Now that you've had a couple of weeks in, how do you feel comfort-wise going into the first game in those areas?
Good. I think we spent a lot of time in camp working on it, which is good. There's some new guys, so I think it's important to do that. So I think they've done a good job getting us up to speed. I mean, it'll still take a little bit of time to gel as a full group. We only had a couple games with a full lineup, so I think that'll take some time. But I feel pretty comfortable with the systems.
How about just your kind of scouting report on the Avs? A team that kind of jumps out at you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we faced them last year in playoffs with Dallas. They're a really strong team, and I think they were a little bitter that that their season ended shorter than they would have liked last year. So they have all the tools on that side, and I think they're going to be hungry this year.
Is there one thing for a D-man that you have to kind of have in the back of your mind going into a game against Colorado?
I mean, they got some high-end talent, so you just got to be aware of where they are when they have the puck and what they like to do. So I've seen a lot of them, but it doesn't always help. I mean, they'll get it done anyways.
Is success in the regular season solely about getting a playoff spot, or are there other metrics that, like, we as a team have had a successful regular season?
I think it goes both ways. I mean, you really want to have a good regular season to set yourself up in playoffs, but at the same time, I think our division's so tight and so competitive that getting in is a big accomplishment. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you have home ice in playoffs, it plays a big factor.
Clarke, heading into opening night, what's the excitement or the butterflies or the jitters like for you as you get ready to do the first one that actually counts?
It's exciting. I think there's been a juice around our team all camp just to get this going and show what we got and start the season off hot. And I think we've done good with the preseason, but like you said, now it counts and we want to make the most of it. And I think we will, because I think we're in the right spot, and I think we're all clicking right now. So I think we're gonna have a hot start to the season, and I'm looking forward to it.
You talk about the juice. A couple other guys have mentioned kind of similar things. If you could pinpoint maybe something that's been or felt a little bit different about the team this year, what would you point to?
I don't know. I think one thing is we had such a good tight-knit group last year, and the communication was so good, and everyone, it kind of just built over the season. And I think over the summer, even bringing in new guys, we're still at that high point of we're gelling all really well together, and we're communicating, and everything's kind of seamless, and it's going well. So I think the fact we didn't let that drop, and we're kind of picking up right where we left off is big for us, and I think that's going to help us right out of the gates.
Jim Miller talked about wanting to use the last two preseason games to get everything in rhythm to start the season. He said he felt like he got what he wanted out of those two games. Do you feel like you got what you needed and wanted out of those two games?
I do. Yeah, I think they were good. I think we were kind of doing our systems like we want to, or holding the blue like we want to, or generating offensive plays. And I'm confident with where we're at right now. I think that third period against Anaheim wasn't best for us. Was maybe a wake-up call, hey, we can't take the foot off the gas the entire 60 minutes, and it's better to do that game than tonight. And I think we know that, especially as a good reminder for tonight. So I think we're right where we want to be right now, and I'm just looking forward to it.
Clarke, a lot of people now are looking at your ice time. Do you have that in your head, I have to play 15 minutes, 18 minutes, 20 minutes? Do you have that in your mind?
I don't know. I don't think numbers are in my mind. I like being in the flow of the game. I like being out there, and sitting for too long. Any hockey player will tell you they don't love that. But I think I have a good idea of what happened last shift. I'm kind of just on to my next, and whether that's right back up or whether that's sitting a little bit. I think I've done a better job of that, of just kind of just maintaining it and being ready to go next shift and making the most of my opportunities. And I don't know. I think, like I said, numbers aren't really the biggest deal for me, as long as I love to be in the flow of the game. I love to try to make a difference. And if I'm doing that and I feel like I'm doing good, then I don't really care what the numbers say.
Your power play unit with both you and Dewey, do you feel like having him out there as well, two defensemen, gives you maybe a little more freedom and flexibility to move around the offensive zone, go a little bit lower and try to do what you do?
I think so. I think it's kind of just read and react too. Obviously having 2D out there is beneficial near the end of the power play because guys are coming out of the box. We're recognizing you don't have to rush a forward off the ice to get a D back on. So I think it's huge in that sense. But I think just filling in holes and Dewey's obviously. Incredible at that, just reading the plays and being in the right spot. And, I'm just trying to read off what other guys are doing. If it's kind of a broken play, just find quiet ice. And, last game I was at the goal line on the opposite side of where I usually am lined up, but it was just kind of broken down, and that's where the holes were. So I think we have smart guys on our unit to just pop in spots like that. And whether we only have 40, 45 seconds, we got to get pucks to the net, and that's just what we've been told, and that's what our mentality is. And I'm looking forward to showing it tonight.
Okay, with a player like McKinnon, is the strategy, let's shut him down or let's limit him and try to prevent his teammates from doing more damage against you?
Yeah, let's be aware of him, know what he does really well. Those types of players, you don't shut down necessarily. I think you just know where he is, try to limit his time and space. He's going to make some good plays. We all know that. You have to accept that, but don't let him make too many.
You started at home this season, then you're on the road for a few games. With last season's home and road splits, is it important to set a tone tonight and get into a rhythm early?
Yeah, the obvious answer is yes. And then the follow-up question is, we got to be better on the road. So we got to be, I know this is boring. This is not good copy for sure. But we got to be good tonight. And then we got to be good the next night. And then and it's interesting how the home road splits turned out. I couldn't give you a really solid reason why, outside of the push we get from our fans in our building. Clearly there's something going on there. That's a pretty strong record. But yeah, it's just a long season. So we don't want to put too much weight into one single game, whether it's home or the road. We got to play well. We got to get to our game maybe before other teams early in the season. If you can do that, I think that gives you just a little bit of a head start, because once you get into November, December, the veterans take over, and kind of the league just really starts to tighten up.
Including Colorado tonight, the first 4 games of the season are against teams that were good last year, expected to be good this year. Is it nice to play games like that so early in the season when everybody's getting going?
Yeah, I think so. I think it keeps you sharp. You know what I mean? If we look back to the Anaheim game, we're up 4-0, we get sloppy, all of a sudden it's a game. So I don't foresee any of that happening. It's going to be tight the whole way against those teams at this stage of the season. So maybe that keeps us extremely focused and dialed in and gets us to our game, as I mentioned earlier, maybe quicker, because we really can't for a moment lose our focus.
I assume one of the strengths of Colorado is the rush. On a rush team, what kind of a checklist for holding the line? It's hard to do, but
Yeah.
how many elements go into holding the line?
Oh, there's a whole bunch. It starts basically at their goal line, because you can't hold the line. Before, it felt like, if you gave up a 2-on-2, you were in good shape. They only have 2, you have 2. Now with the quality of players in the league, it feels like that's not good enough. You have to have one guy chasing, or hopefully 2 guys chasing, so they feel like it's not 2-on-2 where we can start moving like this, that we can only go forward, because if we try to go lateral, someone's coming. So it's as much on our forwards to hold the line and allow our D to hold the line as anything else.
Yesterday I asked Drew why this team is better than the one that got eliminated in April. He didn't hesitate, really short answer, because we can roll 4 lines and play 3D. Is it that simple, the depth?
Well, that's probably the right answer as we sit here today, but like I said, there was a lot that went into that team last year. When I say team, they really became a team and achieved things together. So we can't just take for granted that we're just going to be a really tight team and sacrifice and achieve things together. That's a process that takes time to happen, and it's everybody. The players have to understand that. The coaches, you just don't become a team. And there's different parts in the season, even though you have a lot of similar players, that help to forge those bonds to get tighter. We need to do that. And when you're starting day one, you're just not there yet. So that's part of the challenge.
When there's pregame activities, whether it's celebrations for 1,000 games or a jersey retirement or opening night, is there any benefit to being the home team on an evening like that?
It's a fair question. I don't know. I guess if there was enough of them, we had a large enough sample, you could go back and look and compare it to what home teams typically do. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know the answer to that. You know, sometimes you come out flying. Sometimes, you know, you're sitting there too long and everybody gets caught up in the celebration, and then you feel as a coach, oh, we're not sharp, we're sleepy now. So I've seen it both ways. So I don't know. I just don't have a good answer for it.
Do you have any game day rituals or superstitions?
Yeah, game day ritual, you'll see Smitty and I, as soon as I'm done here, you're welcome to join us. We got the sleds out there, we got the rower out there, and we usually spend about 35 minutes on that, and then we eat lunch, get our way home, and then make it to the rink. So that would probably be the biggest one that's maybe a little different than most.
But you won't wear the same tie if you've won 5 in a row or anything like that.
No. Try to stay away from that. We got enough stuff going on here, but you get into that too far, man, I don't know how you would concentrate or even sleep at night if I went that far.
Coach, I know what happened last year, but how different is this team without Rantanen?
The big difference for me is Rantanen was a lefty with McKinnon, and now you have Nekesh, who's a righty with McKinnon. So the plays that they make with each other sets up just a little bit differently. Nekesh is a different player than Rantanen, but both extremely dangerous. But I would say the difference primarily is the lefty-righty in those two.
There's some teams in the league, like Colorado, whose opening night lineup last year versus this year is probably going to look very different. For you, it seems like the same core group has been around for a few years. Is there any benefit to having players who've been around to start the season the last few years, or after an off season, is it just truly a start to a new season?
No, I think the difference really is, because we changed some things last year. So last year was probably a little bit more scrambly, a little bit more people asking questions, a little bit more, let's try to get everybody on the same page as far as style of play. This year, that's been a benefit that we've had most of that group back. When I talk to them now, we talk a little bit more about what do you have to do physically, rather than, okay, do you understand the forecheck? Do you understand the neutral zone? Those are few and far between, besides with some of the new players. So I think there's a benefit that way, just having the same group back who's played the similar system to the year before.